What is going on? Welcome to Ed News Now. Today we're going to talk about Miguel Cardona, the new sworn-in education secretary. He went straight to work with writing about his 5-point plan in the USA Today around 6:35 p.m. on the same day he was sworn in. Now, we're going to take a look at his letter and what his goals are. And so let's go ahead and dive in. The first thing here is he's really focusing, all 4 of his 5 points are really focusing on how do we get schools open. But the first part is he's going to have a summit this month, gathering the researchers, the practitioners, the education leaders to really discuss how are we actually going to open schools more effectively. So I'm really excited to look more into that summit around opening schools that's going to happen this month. The other thing he said he wants to do while having this summit is convene best practices. So he mentions his time as education commissioner in Connecticut and about the work that he was able to do as the commissioner around Learn Together, Grow Together, CT. And so I imagine he's going to get around several different researchers and innovative school-oriented solutions together to share nationally of the best practices, which then also goes into his third point, which was how do we update the COVID-19 handbook? Recently, the CDC has created an operational strategy for K-12 schools through phase mitigation, and we really have seen a relatively good, comprehensive, clear job on what we can do in our classrooms to keep it at least 6 feet apart. Also, the color zones on what to do when we're at high transmission and low transmission. Now, the fourth thing is and this is what I think is interesting and exciting. How do they deploy it quickly enough, especially when at the same time they want us to do state exams? It looks like the federal government is looking to do a national survey to gather critical data on schools reopening, which is going to be the largest, most comprehensive breakdown of where schools are and how schools are doing in the opening process, which is something we've been demanding for a while. And so that's awesome. Now, the final thing that I'm looking at is really around funding and supporting kids and supporting schools. He talks about President Biden has asked Congress for the $130 billion in funding to ensure that schools can make the best decisions from how to open their schools. But then they also talk about addressing the summer needs. And what I really liked here that I really focused in is he said over the summer investments, he wants to see investments in academic enrichment activities, including in-person accelerated learning, experiential learning, tutoring, and wraparound social and emotional and mental health services. He really hit point that students aren't just academically dealing with things or physically dealing with missing school, but also just the overall emotional base piece of school that we need to invest in. So that was really awesome to see as we get ready for next year. Really excited about the summit and how this moves forward. Hopefully you get to check out in the description. I will have the actual story as well as the references he mentioned about the guidelines and several other things. So thank you for watching Ed News Now. Looking forward to seeing you on the next episode.